Recent reports have stirred up considerable buzz in the filmmaking community, pointing to an ambitious move by Sony Semiconductor. The potential mass production of a full-frame 4K SPAD sensor, that single photon avalanche diode, paired with a global shutter and Sony's next Gen 2-layer transistor pixel architecture. On paper, it sounds like the dawn of a new era in digital imaging, possibly pushing the limits of what compact cinema cameras can do. Naturally, speculation has turned toward the Sony FX3 II, the anticipated follow-up to Sony's popular FX3. Could this breakthrough sensor find its way into Sony's most compact cinema body? Is the FX3 II about to usher in a true technological leap forward for indie filmmakers and solo creators? To answer that, we need to break down what SPAD technology really is, the technical and practical challenges it faces, and how it realistically fits into Sony's product strategy, especially the future of the FX line. To grasp the excitement and the caution around SPAD technology, we need to look at how it fundamentally differs from the traditional CMOS and CCD sensors used in current digital cameras. A SPAD sensor detects individual photons using light amplification by avalanche radiation LAR techniques. This means it can count and process single particles of light, enabling incredibly fast and sensitive imaging. Unlike standard image sensors that rely on analog to digital conversion across pixel arrays, SPAD sensors register binary photon events, essentially light or no light, at extremely high speeds. This makes SPAD tech incredibly attractive for low-light environments, time-of-flight systems, scientific imaging, and especially global shutter implementations. With a global shutter, every pixel on the sensor captures an image at the exact same moment, completely eliminating motion distortion that typically plagues rolling shutter sensors, a common issue when filming fast-moving subjects, vehicles, or handheld scenes. For filmmakers, a full-frame SPAD sensor with global shutter seems like a dream spec, the kind of innovation that could change everything from action sequences to drone cinematography. But while the theory is dazzling, the reality is far more complicated. While the allure of a SPAD-powered Sony FX3 II is strong, most industry experts agree that it's highly unlikely we'll see this technology in the next iteration of the FX3 or any handheld mirrorless-style camera in the near future. The biggest obstacle is power consumption. SPAD sensors, especially in full-frame sizes capable of 4K or higher resolution, demand substantial energy to operate effectively. In lab settings or studio-bound systems like machine vision cameras, that's not a problem. But in the world of compact cinema cameras, where battery life, thermal management, and portability are essential, it's a major roadblock. In fact, the very traits that make the FX3 line so popular among solo shooters and indie filmmakers, its compact design, lightweight build, and long battery life, are fundamentally at odds with the current limitations of SPAD technology. And then there's the cost. Global shutter sensors, especially in large formats, are notoriously expensive to manufacture. Add SPAD's photon counting capabilities and full-frame coverage into the mix, and you're looking at significant production costs. Analysts estimate that a 24MP full-frame global shutter sensor could cost upwards of $6,000 just for the sensor alone, far beyond the projected retail range of the FX3 II, which is expected to fall in the $3,000 to $4,000 bracket. Incorporating such a sensor into the FX3 II would either double the cost of the camera or require Sony to take a loss, neither of which makes sense from a business perspective. So where does that leave us? Rather than a radical leap into SPAD territory, the Sony FX3 II is far more likely to benefit from refinements to Sony's XMOS sensor technology, specifically the company's newer two-layer transistor pixel structure. This advanced sensor design physically separates the photodiodes and pixel transistors into distinct stacked layers. The benefit? Each layer is optimized to do its job more effectively, photodiodes for light gathering and transistors for signal readout. While this XMOS sensor doesn't offer the global shutter advantages of SPAD, it's still a significant step forward. For filmmakers looking to shoot handheld, in natural light or on the fly, the enhanced readout speed and low light capability will make a noticeable difference without draining batteries or pushing prices through the roof. This is a smart, practical upgrade that balances real-world performance gains with the affordability and usability that the FX3 line is known for. Even if we set aside the challenges of power consumption and pricing, SPAD sensors still face several key technical limitations that make them less than ideal for everyday filmmaking, at least for now. One of the biggest issues is quantum efficiency QE, essentially how effectively a sensor converts light into usable image data. While SPAD sensors are theoretically more sensitive to light, their ability to consistently collect light is compromised by frequent reset cycles. Each pixel in a SPAD sensor needs to be reset after registering a photon, during which time it stops capturing light altogether. This leads to data loss during those moments and reduces overall efficiency. So while SPAD sensors shine in controlled environments requiring pinpoint photon measurement, like scientific experiments or depth mapping, they're not yet ideal for cinematic use where light conditions change dynamically and efficiency matters every frame. While the Sony FX3 II is almost certainly not getting a SPAD sensor, that doesn't mean the technology won't show up elsewhere in Sony's lineup. In fact, it's very possible that future iterations of Sony's high-end Venice cinema cameras or even an FX9 successor could debut with a SPAD-based global shutter sensor. Why? Because cameras in those categories don't have the same constraints as the FX3. They're used in high-budget productions where size, weight, and cost are secondary to image fidelity. With setups already involving external power supplies, massive rigs, and custom cooling, integrating power-hungry sensors becomes much more feasible. The Venice line, especially with its Rialto extension system, is already a favorite in professional cinema. A SPAD sensor could further elevate its status, offering unmatched global shutter performance and low light sensitivity, making it a true powerhouse for filmmakers shooting feature films, high-end commercials, or demanding action sequences. Some may be disappointed that the Sony FX3 II won't lead the SPAD revolution, but that doesn't make it any less exciting. In fact, an upgraded FX3 with the latest Exmor tech, enhanced dynamic range, better thermal efficiency, and refined color science would be a meaningful improvement over an already beloved camera. And that's what matters. Filmmakers, especially indie creators, documentary shooters, and solo operators, don't just want raw specs. They want reliability. They want cameras that turn on and just work. Cameras that deliver cinematic results without needing a backpack full of batteries, complicated workarounds, or external recorders just to access key features. The Sony FX3 II, if it continues along this evolutionary path, will likely offer better image quality, improved rolling shutter performance, and smarter processing, all while keeping the compact body, intuitive controls, and internal recording that made the original FX3 a hit. There's no denying that SPAD sensors represent a major milestone in imaging technology. Their ability to capture light with photon-level precision, paired with global shutter performance, could redefine how we think about digital cameras. But that future isn't here yet, at least not for mainstream cinema cameras like the FX3 II. For now, SPAD will remain in the realm of scientific instruments, industrial imaging, and perhaps Sony's most premium cinema tools. Meanwhile, the FX3 II will continue the tradition of practical innovation, delivering performance that meets the needs of real-world filmmakers without inflating cost or complexity. In short, the SPAD revolution is coming, but the FX3 II isn't where it begins.